it's a safe space. I'm choosing. It's a safe space because this person that I brought on today, it took me time. Let me tell you. I know I've not been able to look you in the eye because I don't want to tell you everything. But I'm going to tell you now, guys. Chinasa.
Hi.
Let me start by telling you that before I started shooting, when I was shooting my shots of people, she was the first person I texted because I knew that some people will see part of you on your content in my own, your style in mine. So I texted her and I told my team that I really wanted Chinasa. Like I said, I wanted it to be a crossover episode. Like I wanted Chinasa to be here because I wanted people to see you, and I personally did want to see you because I've admired you for as long as I can remember. I remember texting like, even before we decided on space to use. I already texted you because I was like, oh, you had to be here. And I'm so excited. I'm glad. I told Chinasa that when I texted, she said, oh, she wasn't in Lagos. That when she's in Lagos, she'll tell me. And I was waiting. And true to word, she told me.
I'm an honest babe.
Yeah, when she goes to Lagos, she told me. I was like,
I'm an honest babe.
I don't know if you could tell how excited I was when you texted me, but I was really excited. I took a screenshot. I said, she's here. Oh. I'm not going to lie to you. I canceled 2 events. I have so many people to apologize to, but I canceled 2 events because it had to happen. Hi, Chinasa.
Hi, Osas.
Hi. So why do you look at everybody like you're in love with them? Let's start from there.
I like people to feel seen. I don't know. I guess that's it.
I'm sorry.
I feel like if I'm giving you my attention, I want you to feel like you have it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, all of us. How many of us can possibly fall in love
We're
with
all children of God. No, you don't have to fall in love with me.
I promise you, the way you look at people, I don't think they can escape it.
Really?
Yeah. Even the audience, like when you turn to them, like when I'm watching that, you look at me like, back up. Hey. I'm keeping myself for the Lord.
I like keeping people on their toes. It's just interesting for me. It's just fun.
I should learn that. How do you do it?
Everybody's a person, so that's it. You just have to remember that. Everybody's a human being.
No, why am I looking at them the way you look at them?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a good
Force of
influence.
habit. Yeah, you are. You actually are. You actually are. Because your type of, your niche, I mean, your niche is podcasting, but the kind of podcasting that you do is the first of its kind. It's calm, it's safe, especially safe. It's not controversial. I hate controversy.
Yeah, right. I don't think that you should invite somebody somewhere to use them for controversy.
Yes.
For people to give you that time, like time is the most precious resource in the world, especially the kind of people I'm speaking to. So for people to give you that time, you cannot now come and start trying to use them. I just feel like if you don't respect somebody, don't have them.
And the way you make them feel. Sometimes they're always blushing. Right now I'm blushing. And I'm like, save me, guys. Save me. So this episode is very special to me because I'm not going to lie. I didn't say it publicly, but I told my team members that my podcast is highly inspired by you and Amanda. Because I like the kind, and Koti too. Because I like what you guys, I mean, you've shown us that we can do shows without being controversial.
Yeah.
We can do shows without people shaking in their seats, being afraid of, I don't think anybody will leave your show and ever say, oh, I never want to speak to that girl again in my life.
Yeah.
And it's very commendable, right? Because it's so great to see creators that don't put clout first.
Yeah.
No, you're not chasing clout and you're super creative.
Thank you.
Is it Abuja? Do I need to move there?
I feel like I come from a very creative house. And in general, I don't know, I like to entertain myself. So I feel like because of that, my mind, I have an overactive mind also. My mind is always, literally, somebody can be on the phone and then just from hearing them being on the phone, it gives me an idea. But I want to say, and I don't know if people are going to find this controversial or not, but Is This It Taken is not a podcast, guys. It's a YouTube show. Every time people call it a podcast, it breaks my heart. Not because it can't be a podcast, but if it's a podcast, for example, it'll be releasing every week. The show has a format. Or let me say, what makes it a show instead of a podcast? Or more is the
Build up.
Jesus Christ. It's everything involved in putting it together. Number one.
Wait, so if it was a podcast, you're releasing every week?
Yes, now.
Guys.
If it was a podcast, I'll be dressing up like this and just coming. This is taking a style for months.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, as in, that's what I'm saying, that because of the production level, it can't be. And honestly, if I knew what it would take me to do that, I would have started something more small scale. Because it takes so much. Then also, obviously, it has a structure in the sense that there's a middle. Every episode, there's a middle where the guest interrupts. There's an ending thing where the guest speaks. There's certain storytelling devices I use.
The one interview, the one where they talk to the camera solo.
Yeah. So guys, this taking is a show, please.
Oh, it's a show.
If I had a podcast, I'll just sit down. Like today now, we can talk about anything. Yes. Just how I mean. We can talk about Lagos traffic. Is this it taking? I even need a podcast because I feel like people don't know the full extent of my personality, right? Because you only experience me through experiencing the guests. So I feel like if it was a podcast, it would be more boundless. I'm not saying I want it to be a podcast. I'm just trying to explain because people will be like, okay, so what's the difference? The difference, guys, is that it's an interview show, okay? But as you can see, I will do more podcasts. Invite me on your podcast. I like to talk. I like to yap. I'm a yapper. So, I mean, I don't think I need to tell anybody that chat from me. Is this taking? You see me yapping?
I think I'm forced to be a yapper, but since I have nobody to yap to, hence, so I'll speak to you guys. I'll yap to you guys since nobody wants to hear me yap at night.
Who told you nobody wants to hear
Nobody's sleeping at 12 a.m.
So your only yapping is only at night?
That's what they can yap to the fullest. Either that or now when I'm shooting. But why did you start? Is this taken?
The answer to that question is longer. But let me try and think of something short. So I've said this a bunch of times. I said I started out doing stand-up comedy. But I didn't even start out doing stand-up comedy. But essentially, around the time I started Is This It Taking, I was doing stand-up comedy outside of Nigeria. And the pandemic happened. And of course, stand-up comedy is very in-person, very whatever. So all of that just stopped. And again, obviously, even my parents, as I'm doing stand-up comedy, I hadn't even told them I'm doing stand-up comedy. So I was doing film school, is what they know I was doing. But essentially, I'm like, even the film school for them is like, bruh, what are you doing? So the desire to show walk-ins is heavy because obviously you want them to know that like, you are able to trust me with this, and I know what I'm doing. So essentially, pandemic, everything became a standstill. And I'm like, what can I do in this time? Because again, there's no even time for delay, right? Because entertainment in general, any dream, as you would know, it takes time. It takes time. So I'm like, okay, I still need to be doing something in this time so that my brain is also sharp, things are happening. So I started making videos on Instagram. And then I started a show on Instagram called Conversations with Friends. Because I was like, I don't know what I can do right now, but I know that I have good conversations with my friends. So I'm just going to start a Conversation with Friends show. Essentially, from doing that, I was like, oh, okay, you can do this kind of like talk style content, essentially. And then a couple of things. I'm like, if you think about Rihanna now, I know Rihanna loves wine. Meg Thee Stallion, I know she loves anime. Like, we know all these quirky things about foreign artists, but like Nigerian artists, we don't know a lot about them. In fact, we don't know anything about them outside of their music. Like, they just drop music and that's it, go back into the shadows. So I'm like, we don't really have a lot of interviews that humanize our artists. We don't really have a lot of opportunities where you get to see them as a human being outside of their work. Also, like I said, I love to keep people on their toes. So I'm like, I want to play around with that, tension. I know that people love anything man and woman ship, they will die there. So I'm like, I want to add that, a little bit of flirtatious. I also feel like Nigerians, to me, are some of the funniest people in the world. Nigerians are very charismatic. Nigerians are very cheeky. Obviously, we have mad people, but I'm saying people don't know us for all these things. So I'm like, I want to do something that I feel like shows that side of us as well. Like, and then I was like, I want something that young people feel like they can watch and see themselves in. They can watch and take ownership of. Because in terms of Nigerian pop culture, that has evolved a lot in the last 4 years. But when I started, there wasn't really a lot in terms of, if you say this is Nigerian pop culture. And stuff like Zikoko, all this stuff were coming up around that time. So I'm like, this is a good tie into that. I wanted something that felt like a good interview as well. Just an interview you watch and leave and you're like, that was a good interview. But also didn't feel as heavy as an interview. Because like I said, I started with stand-up comedy. So I wanted something that can show a bunch of my skills. Like, okay, this girl is funny. She can interview. She can, tension niggas. Regular. So, add a bunch of things, mix a bunch of good things in the pot, sugar, spice, everything nice. And so yeah, I wanted something that also felt very fly on the wall. Like you feel like you're in the room with like it's like nobody thinks that there's camera there. Like how is it just like very easygoing? And how I did that in the first season is I wrote like 4 questions for every episode. I said the rest, whatever comes out of my mouth will just come out. Like let me just research about the person. So I have things in the back of my mind that I can anchor the conversation around and then just sort of leave the conversation to however it's going to pan out. So even me, I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be when I started it. I just know that I had an idea that I was like, I feel like I can execute this as long as I get the right people. And that's why files was so important to me. I said, I have to find him and get him because he's such a witty person.
Yes.
So I was just like, this is just the perfect person. We just need to get him. However we can get him, I need to get him. So I started plotting to get him. The way you are probably plotting to get me. And then I met him, and then I just told him, hey, I'm moving back to Nigeria. I have this idea. He was like, okay, it sounds cool. It sounds dope. Yeah, so I think it's cool because even since I started, so many more interview things, podcasts, like basically conversation style content has become a lot more common, which is good because I think that we have the most cultural context to tell our stories. You know, an artist can leave Nigeria and go to another interview and they can say something to them, but because they're not Nigerian, they don't have the full cultural context to interpret that. So I'm like, it's important that we have people that have that shared understanding to also like facilitate these conversations, because then it's just more fun for everybody involved. Lastly, because I know this has been a very long answer, I wanted something that respected the audience, respected the artist, respected myself, in the sense that everybody involved in the conversation has a good time. So all of my guests, they're like, yes, this was fun. I felt fun. The audience feels fun. I'm like, yeah. So, well, you know, I just wanted something that basically everybody will leave enjoying, essentially. So, yeah, I also just...
I respect it. So your side of the side of you that did stand-up comedy, how was it? Did you enjoy it? And how was it as a Nigerian woman doing stand-up comedy outside the country?
Yeah, I think that for whatever reason, I just enjoy throwing myself in the deep end. Because I just feel like it's an opportunity to rise to the occasion. Like I really just want to do the hardest version of things. It's not always easy, but I think ultimately it's always an opportunity for growth. So I've always been the kind of person that, let's say something bad will happen to me, I'll be telling my friends, they'll be laughing, and I'm like, guys, this is tragic. Like, this is not a joke. So I feel like I've always known that, like, I'm good at telling stories, because I feel like that's the core of being stand-up. Because you can be funny, but if you don't know how to, like, tell a good story, you won't really be good at stand-up. And then, obviously, I'm Nigerian, so, I never really was like, comedy is a career. Yeah, so I think being Nigerian, I was also a very academic child. So I was like, you're funny, but like this is not a career. But Trevor Noah was like a big thing for me, which is also just a big thing with me in my career and trying to do unique things, because I really want to be that sign of possibility to somebody else. And I know that when I saw Trevor Noah, I was like, oh, this is someone that is intelligent, but he's funny, and he has done comedy in a way that is so rich, it's so relatable. So I was like, okay, you can do this. So what I was doing is, before I even ever did comedy, every time I think of a joke, because like I said, my brain is always running, I'll just write it down. So by the time I decided like, oh, I want to try this, I already had like 400 notes. And then I told my friend, I want to try stand-up comedy. And we sat down in his university library together. And I'll be performing jokes for him one by one. He'll say, okay, this one is good, this one is good. Let's add this one, let's add that one. That's how we crafted the first 5 minutes. And then, so I was in the UK at the time, doing drama school. So they have like comedy clubs where you can just do like an open mic, just go there and perform. So I said, okay, let's just go and try it and see how it goes. So my friend followed me, we went there. I did it and it went well. And it shocked me. Because yes, you feel like you're good, you feel like you're confident, but again, this is the UK, like I said, a lot of people in the audience were white, a lot of them were men. I'm like, they don't even have anything in common with me. So, but I'm very good at projecting confidence. Because that's another thing I even tell people, like, there are episodes that I'm literally so nervous, but nobody can tell, because I'm very good at just sitting down and looking calm. So that's one thing, at least, that worked for me in the comedy space, because I would just go on stage and just perform, and everybody's like, oh my God, how are you so confident? And I'm like, confident, I'm like, my leg was shaking.
Oh yeah, as long as you can't tell.
Yeah, exactly. That's something people came up to me a lot and said, and they said, you're interesting, but you're funny, but more importantly, you're interesting. Which is where I go back to gaps in the market. A Nigerian woman, my age, my life experience, how many of them will you say are doing stand-up comedy? Like that they actually were born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria, grew up in Nigeria. It's not a lot of people. So it gives you a unique voice, a unique perspective. So I think I recognized that early, and that's something that people communicated to me early. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like continue trying. It wasn't always easy. People didn't always laugh. But like again, I just feel like in life there's no full stop unless you put full stop there. Yeah. So is to go back to the drawing board, keep working, and keep getting better.
I mean, I was going to mention you already spoke about it. Women our age doing stand-up comedy. I was thinking in the back of my mind that we don't have a lot of female comedians. Mm-hmm. Then I thought of Ellen Paul and like Pashos will say, but that's where it ends for stand-up comedy for women. And I realize now that truly there's a gap, because most of the comedy shows I've been to in Lagos, Bogobiri House, the ones that they've invited me to elsewhere, I have never. And a lot of the Nigerian
female stand-up comedy, they make it physical, right? So it's more physical comedy. Like they'll use their body to be the comedy, as opposed to like the men will come and say other things.
Well, I don't think the women are doing stand-up comedy. I think they're doing comedy. Nobody's nobody's doing open mics.
Yeah.
Everybody's just on Instagram. I think that's who has taken away from, having women on stage.
Yeah.
To be funny. Because I'm of the opinion that women are very funny.
Women are hilarious. It's not even an opinion. Women are extremely funny.
On my bio on Snapchat, hashtag.
People always say to me, oh, and you're a woman and you're funny. I'm like, the problem is that your head is not correct.
Yeah, your head is actually not correct.
And nobody has told you that.
What do you mean, and you're a woman and you are funny? Should male comedians are dressed like women to be funny. So what do you mean, and you're a woman and you're funny?
I feel like Misha, in general, I'm not here to convince, I'm not here to talk. Let's just show the workings, no problem.
Well,
I'm not like, okay, women are not funny, okay.
So you mentioned Trevor Noah, right?
Yeah.
If I were to mention, obviously me, personally, because I don't consume a lot of international media.
Yeah.
I'm all about women around me. Mm-hmm. Somebody inspired this, right? There are people that are opening podcasts now because there are women in the podcast space. There's Jola, there's your Just is not a podcast.
Yeah.
But still.
It's still the same space. It's conversational content.
There's
basically.
Jola, there's FK, there's you, there's Koti even.
Yeah.
And so it's like
I would say it's very brilliant.
When I wanted to open my own, when I was having this conversation, I in my own head, I was by myself. I was beating myself up. In mind, I was like, is this space not too saturated? I'm like, oh, okay, well, if it is, then so be it.
There's no such thing.
There's no,
because nobody's you. Only one Osas.
And only one Chinasa.
You have to back your individuality. And again, aside that, like I said, you have to look for unique ways to position yourself. For example, like I said with the show. Okay, just even saying, hi, is this he taking? That's already a thing that makes it different. Like I said, we have the middle things where the guest is talking about the dates in the middle of the dates. That's different. We have the ending where the guest talks about the date. So I feel like structurally, there's always ways you can position yourself uniquely. And even in terms of other forms of content I wanted to do, and I've also thought, oh, it's so saturated, then you see people are doing it and they're blowing up because people connect with you. People connect with you as a person. You can never, connectivity is finite. I mean, it's not finite, sorry, it's infinite. So somebody else can come tomorrow and you connect with the person. So I just feel like at the end of the day, as long as you're being yourself and you also think generally like how you can uniquely position yourself, the market will always receive it.
You have supportive parents.
I do, but it wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, like we're doing this. No. It was a tussle.
And I saw the music video you shot in your father's house. I was like,
he was not there now. Has he even seen that one? Maybe this is the first time we hear of it.
Well, I saw you and I knew that. I sort of see you as an Ajebota girl.
I think that's the general consensus.
But I do think you are, right? And I saw it. Your first post was 3 years ago, according to YouTube. I'm like, 3 years ago, our parents were no discount. So for you to have started this 3 years ago, you have supportive parents.
It didn't even start 3 years ago.
Your first post was just 3 years ago.
I'm saying even before the first post, the journey I started. I started with film school. That one was already a big, because I studied law in university. And I was saying this in an interview I did recently that if you ask how my dad sees me like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. That's how he sees me. Like he's still waiting for me to go and do my PhD. Like it's not a joke to him. Like that's why I said I was a very academic child. So trust me, it was a big thing for him to be able to accept. But that's another thing of trying to explain that like creativity is highly intellectual. And people don't get that. People don't see that. Even with the show, even with something like this, people just see you having conversation and they think it's for people to sit down and watch you for 50 minutes talking. You have to be an interesting person. Yeah. You have to be someone that knows how to speak. So I think that because things can look seamless, you can downplay just what it takes to be able to facilitate a well-done show. You know what I mean? So I feel like my parents, what has really helped is when I move back and they're seeing me on a day-to-day, they're seeing how much I work. They're like, this girl is always working. My parents are literally just like, bruh, like it's okay. You're always working. You're always working. So I feel like at that point, it's just like, I mean, we can't really deny the work. So that's what it is. But they still every day tell me that they don't understand what I'm doing. My dad literally said like, well, I don't know what you're doing, but you know, okay.
I mean, as long as you're happy. Mm-hmm. They're putting your happiness first too.
Yeah, I think they've just accepted it. I
like that you finished law because I feel like I don't know. That's just me though. I feel like I probably wouldn't have. Like if I had something else to. Yeah. Because I'm hyper. Mm-hmm. I can't concentrate on two things at the same time. Yeah. I can do two things at the same time, but I can't concentrate on two. Yeah. So if I was doing law for them, I probably wouldn't have finished. I
wasn't actually doing it for them. So that's what I'm saying, that even the journey to coming here, because like I said, I wasn't giving myself permission, even besides my parents, to view like acting. I used to write films, TV shows. Like I used to write from like a young age. My mom had a bookstore. There was one random magazine in Abuja. I used to submit like poetry to them. So basically from a young age, I viewed all these things as hobbies. So it was never about my parents, because my daddy wanted me to be a doctor. So it wasn't like, it was just like, it makes sense because this is a professional degree. And also I feel like if you grow up in Nigeria, if you speak well, you're someone that's passionate, you'll just say lawyer.
That's what they wanted to rope you.
So I feel like it's even in terms of exposure to what careers can be. Because for example, like a couple of years ago, I helped my friend write some ads that Pepsi picked up. I never knew that was a job. Just because in Nigeria, like again, people that are growing up now obviously know the breadth of this thing because social media has changed. Generation, everything is different right now. But I just feel like if you want to say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a lot of these things were very, like I said, even when I said is this taking, there are not a lot of, in fact, how many show-based interview concepts? I don't even know if there was, besides
There
Koti.
were, but they stopped before I grew up.
And Koti was even framing hers as a show at that time. She was just framing hers as like drops on her YouTube. So I feel like now, it has become more of like a structured ecosystem. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that I might have even pursued, but then law was kind of what made sense. I was also thinking of doing international relations and politics because I'm someone that's very also social justice, whatever. Literally since secondary school, I've been the person that'll be like, no, that's not right, that's wrong. And they'll be like, yeah, no. Anyway, so I feel like I wanted to switch to that, but my counselor in A-levels just told me that law and all this thing is the same thing and law is a better degree to get. So I was like, okay, cool. I did it. I don't regret doing it. But I knew that it was going to stop with the degree. I didn't go to law school. Oh. Mm-hmm. So when I finished university, I knew that if I came back to Nigeria, my parents would now say, since you don't know what you want to do, you're still thinking, go to law school. So I actually just got a teaching job. I went to America and said, I'm teaching. Which they're happy with because my father was like, teaching step 1, PhD, step 2. But no, I was just using the teaching to buy time. And then from there, that's when I now said, okay, why don't you embrace, this is the only thing that you have clarity about. This is the only thing you're sure of. Yeah, you don't know. Okay, what of the one you know? Why can't you? My friend was like, do you know how many people don't know, are looking for what they're passionate about? You have something, why are you not taking it serious? And it was as simple as that conversation. I was like, okay. Then I said, I'm going to apply to film school. If I get in, I'm taking it as a sign from God.
And she did.
And I got in. Yeah.
Amazing. That's super impressive.
Thank you.
Oh.
I feel like it's always good for me to hear from people in this space. Because I don't live here. You people are watching the show, but nobody tells me anything. And I mean people in the space as well. Nobody says, hey, Chinasa, you're doing good. Hey, we're enjoying the show. Hey, whatever. So I just don't have any feedback of how the show is even impacting people. So I'm saying it's good to hear. And more of it, you people should message me, tell me. if you want to collaborate, I'm very open to that. Right.
So I was surprised you responded that fast. Right? I didn't even think, because Instagram only allowed me to send that message once. And I wanted to like keep sending reminders so that it keeps bumping up, right? But when you responded, I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't have any impression of you outside what I saw on TV.
Yeah.
Like I'd never spoken to anybody about you.
Yeah.
I'd never met you. You're not even a Lagos babe. So
that's exactly the
I can't
problem.
run into you.
Exactly.
To say, oh, okay, this is how you have. So I was waiting, and when you replied, I was like, oh. So that was what gave me confidence. If I tell you the kind of people I shot to. I said I had not shot one single episode when I shot at you. So when I shot to other people, when I first started texting people, I said podcast. And then I got responses like, oh, I'm not doing podcast, I'm not doing. So I just changed it to show. So that people will be able to answer me. So I think when I dropped my first 3 episodes, people saw what it was.
Yeah.
And then they started warming up to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand them, but at that point when I wasn't getting, apart from your response, I was getting people that were saying, oh, I do not want to come to you, I don't want to do podcast, I'm scared of podcast. I was losing it because I was like, what have I gotten myself in? It's like, why did I decide to do a podcast? So I was happy that you responded to me, because it just gave me a bit of hope that, oh, I was on the right path.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm glad that you did. Now back to, you mentioned you like love making people feel comfortable. Do you not think that your guests will fall in love with you?
I don't think so, because we need to remember these men are whores.
Not just the men.
Okay, the women too.
Everybody.
The women, I'm happy for them to be in love with me. I love women. So I'm like, let's all be in love. I feel like these are men in the entertainment industry now.
No, those men, they crazy.
So it cannot be eye contact that is that serious. They've seen worse.
Lagos men.
They've seen worse.
Men. Nigerian men.
They've seen worse. And I also feel like if they fall in love with them, then good. Love is good. Like, if they fall in love, good now. Love is a nice feeling.
This one is for me. This is for me. And whoever this may apply to, but personally, this is for me. So you might want to, okay, don't step away, just stay. How do you do it?
I don't know, because even as you were saying, reaching out to guests, like, I feel like if people know the behind the scenes of this show, they won't believe it too. Their mouth to just be open. Like, nah. Making this show, it humbles me every year. Like, I can't even say it has humbled me. It's a continuous process of humbling. It's extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. And you always feel like you're always proving yourself. Like, not you be like, okay, I've done this now, so you're always proving yourself. And you have to keep growing. And then also I have other things I want to do. Like I told you, I still want to do stand-up comedy globally. I still want to make film. I still want to act. I still want to do many things. So Is This Taking is also such a consuming fire that I didn't realize how much time it would take, not just to kick it off, but to sustain it. Because I thought, okay, an ecosystem would have formed around it in terms of more structure. I still don't have management. I still don't have anything. So I do a lot of the stuff myself just to maintain it at the quality level that it's at, right? So essentially, it has just been a journey. It has been a learning process. Again, Sha, like I said, it's an opportunity for growth, but also I just feel like I could have done so much more with help. I started this show at the level I started it at, so that in my head I was like, okay, people will see this and they'll be like, oh, people that have a similar mindset will be like, oh, let me partner with her. But what they said to people is, this girl has support. This girl doesn't need help. This girl is rich. And then, because I'm not in Lagos, because I didn't grow up in Lagos, because I don't have this brand relationship, you know how Nigeria is. My last season, I had to sponsor by myself, which is crazy to me, because this is, as in the proof of concept is there. The numbers are there, the quality is there, but I'm still always fighting for my life. So I just feel like that part of it is just a consistent learning curve. But in terms of how I do it, I'm still going far. So I don't in my own self feel like, oh, I've done something to sit down and now start saying, oh, okay, you've done something. No. Like, I have done something, so I don't feel like I'm not giving myself props, but I still have a lot of things I want to do and know I can do well. You know what I mean? Because I feel like people will judge you based on what they've seen, but you judge yourself based on your capacity and what you know your capacity is. So there's still so much I want to show. And I'm just hoping that with time, I'm able to basically just have a team. Because also, even outside of getting the people, was also being able to pay these people. Because again, back to money. Is this taking is very expensive to make.
I see.
Because of the level we do it at. So even any money you make is going right back into the show. So, but again, everybody just thinks, people come up to me all the time. I see your views. I see this one, you're rich. I'm just like, If you guys think this is how I'll be when I'm rich, that's crazy to me.
Oh, well.
That's crazy to me. But I feel like, yes, obviously the packaging is good. I agree with that. But I put it at that level because I wanted it to be something that's globally scalable, number one. Number two, like I've said, my biggest thing is I want people to see what's possible. To see what's possible, you cannot start with something that's ordinary. You have to have something that makes people see it's really important to me. And I say people, but also just specifically women. Like, it's very, very important to me that women feel like they can take up space. Even with the persona I have on the show, that's like a big thing. It's like, yeah, you can take up space, you can be confident. Don't, in any space, with anybody, like hold your own. You know what I mean? So there has been a lot of growth. There's a lot I'm grateful for. Because ultimately, I also feel like you can put stuff out and nobody cares. So the fact that people watch is a big deal to me. The fact that it has an impact on people. Because another thing, which I didn't say in the first answer, is a big thing I wanted to achieve with the show is I want something that people can just come home and de-stress to. Because I feel like living in Nigeria is so hectic. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, stress. So I just wanted something people can come home to and just laugh. Because I feel like a lot of Nigerian things is like, to God be the glory. And to God be the glory always. But some things should just be to de-stress. Some things should just be to laugh. To like, just chill. So even just being able to do that for people like is something that I set out to do. So I'm happy that it's something that, I have achieved, essentially.
Do you script your shows?
No. But I do an insane amount of research. That's another thing. Chinasa, who's your research team? This is the research team.
By yourself. I mean, like, it doesn't get overwhelming.
This does not get overwhelming. I just exist in a state of overwhelmness.
Because
I just exist in overwhelm.
I would literally start crying if I had to do research
Even
myself.
this year now, I've just only this year been able to hire 2 people, and every month that I'm paying salary, I'm like, okay. And this is not on research, or this is like for social media, for graphics. The research, I don't ever think I can outsource it, to be honest, because like I said, it anchors me in the conversation.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Because even questions I don't write, they'll say something, and it remind me of something that I know, and then I'll now say something. I like that surprise element. And I also feel, like I said, it respects the person that you've asked for their time. And it's also, it's a characteristic thing with the show. Like, it's something that also helps the show to stand out. So, I mean, in time, maybe there'll be more people that come on the research team. The styling, that's something definitely I'm happy to partner with people on.
Your styling is crazy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so... for the first few episodes, I wore makeup and I tried to dress up.
No.
But like the fourth one, I realized that I couldn't.
That's why I said that. That's why I said, is this taking cannot be a podcast?
I guess.
And other people are like, Chinasa, why are you not releasing? I'm like, you guys are not understanding. You guys are not understanding that I have to distress from is this taking. Like, if you see me any day I'm not filming, I'm not wearing makeup, I'm not dressed up, like I'm dressed very casually. Except I'm like filming or hosting something. Because is this taking, I need to sit down and plan it. But like, that's another thing. I wanted the style to be a character of the show. Like, there's just so many things I wanted the hair to be a character of the show. Braids, another thing I really want to like lean into. I want to lean into Nigerianness, Africanness. So like, every detail of that show, I think about it very deeply. So that's why it can only come out once a year.
See, things I'm going to be very honest, because there's no idea that you think that you have that is probably new. I'm sorry, you've probably seen it somewhere before. So it's why I'm usually not ashamed to say that. Oh, I was inspired by so person. Because even on my page, when I was talking to my people, like, okay, who do you want to be like? And I was going on to say, I think we can just do our own thing. I was going to die there if I tried. So like, I was sending inspiration from your page to my people. I see what she's doing. I really love it. And I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yeah. Because
I love that you were there. I feel like God actually put you there for people like me to see.
Yeah.
Because no man's an island. There are things that I'm really good at, and there are things that I know nothing of, that I have to watch people do so that it would give me an idea or push me to. So I'll send an idea from your page to to my people. So it's why I said when they told me that, oh, low budget, this thing.
That you took it as a compliment.
If somebody, another person came and said, I don't know what foreign artist you mentioned, say I was doing the same show as him. I'm like, thank you. Because actually, thank you.
All creativity is inspired,
yes,
number one.
Very much inspired.
Number two, nobody owns anything. I don't know, in a grand sense. Nobody owns anything. Because somebody messaged me as well. She's in Uganda. And she said, hey, she really likes the show. She wants to do like a version in Uganda. Can I give her my permission? I said, my darling, you don't need my permission. No. If you want to do it, do it. Because I'm not the owner of it. Because me too, they'll probably find people and say that I copied them.
I hope it wasn't the name she was asking for.
Somebody was asking for a name?
No, I'm asking the Uganda person. Hope she doesn't say she wants to do the only name of your show.
No. Obviously, if it's the name, then...
That's the line you don't cross. That's the line you don't cross.
No, but she just said the concept. And I'm like, my dear, even for example, I said in my show, we have the middle things. That was inspired by The Office.
Yes, I'm a huge consumer of The Office. I absolutely love The Office. It makes sense that The Office, since you're a stand-up comedian.
And the thing that people say, looking into the camera, that was inspired by The Office.
Pam.
Because like somebody does something crazy and it's just like, but also it's inspired by like, you have to connect with the people you're talking to. Even in the smallest of ways, because it just makes them feel like they're part of the conversation. So, yeah. When you have musicians, you see that the stress you think you're having, okay.
It's actually why I stopped talking with them.
It's just so funny, like, somebody called me, he wanted to start his own show, and he said to me, Chinasa, this is what I've been going through. I said, people are seeing me on YouTube, people think, we've had a shoot. We were supposed to film at noon, 12 noon. So if we're filming at 12 noon, we get there from like 8. Because our own setup is very like elaborate. And it was a new space we'd not filmed in before, so we have to like do light checks, whatever. Anyways, we're there from 8. I want you to guess when we filmed this episode, Osas.
2 p.m.
Someone said 6, Osas said 2. We filmed it at 1 a.m.
No. That's the next day now. That's tomorrow.
My parents were at home. Can I say that my parents have been also traumatized by this job? My parents watched me leave the house at 8 a.m. We started filming at 1 a.m. And when we were filming, kind of like here, I want you to understand that it was a club above us. And we told them, can they put on the speaker? And they said we must be joking. So I would literally be trying to talk to the artist. Give me the ginger. Give me the hello. That happened. You're not supposed to be, people now be saying, Chinasa, why is there noise in the back? I'm like, do you know what? I sat down, and if I tell you this episode, I'll tell you, you won't even believe it. Because I'm like, do you know what it is to maintain composure as the speaker blasting in your ear?
It takes a lot of, you have to personally.
That's why this one was happening today. I'm like, I don't even know what can move me again in this workspace because I don't know. Like, I've already experienced too much. Or we just, because again, and this is why I also say it's not a podcast. Because, for example, it's a podcast now. Look at the way I can just come like this. It's easy taking. You will do makeup, you dress up. Somebody will not show up.
Oh, I can't cry. Oh, I'm actually going to cry.
You say I can cry. I cry.
I'm going to cry.
I don't even know that. I don't
No.
Like, basically, every day on my grave, they write she cried. Because
I will cry.
I have been crying the last 4 years.
What do you mean show up?
I said, and this thing, we're talking to the person's manager. Osas just asked me if I ever film in Lagos. I travel to film this show every time, guys. I leave Abuja. And that's why I'm saying that, I'm sorry, again, is this a take? Is not a podcast. I said I travel, and not only do I travel, all my clothes, we make them in Abuja. So I have to travel with all my clothes. Like, it's basically like traveling to make a film. I travel with everything, and that's why I'm saying that, so it has to be planned in advance. Because even by the time I get to Lagos, anything that is not here, that's it. So basically, I travel every time. And that's why it only comes out once a year. That's why people need to stop.
That's insane.
Looking for more.
That's actually...
Yeah, so I travel to do it. Another thing is also you're trying to... Because we shoot 2 a day. That's another thing nobody ever knows. I'm like... And that's another thing I'm actually very proud of. In fact, that's one of the things I'm probably most proud of. Because I'm like... People can never guess that, okay, I've done one and I will change makeup, change everything.
And hair.
Yeah? And shoot in another day.
Well, as you all know, I'm lazy. As you all know, I'm lazy. If I shoot 2 episodes in a day, if I can use
No, but if we shoot one, A day of shoots cost us like 2.5 million naira, babe. So do you have that to give me? It's not from wanting to be hardworking. It's from we have the other option. So we have to block it and we shoot across 4 days. That's how a season is 8 episodes. So we shoot back to back, 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. I get home like earliest, maybe 4 a.m. 7 a.m. we'll start coming back.
Okay, so if you're watching this, don't be discouraged.
Don't be discouraged. First of all, you don't even have to do.
Don't be discouraged.
Like, is taking? You can actually do something calmer.
But
because we use 4 cameras, we use 4 people behind all the cameras.
Have a production company called.
I don't have a company, but basically we've been shooting with the same people from episode 1. So basically, we just scouted all of them individually.
Oh, if I didn't borrow this camera, that would have been in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. That, but again, I didn't have those relationships. I know I told you I was teaching. So it's actually my savings from teaching I used to make the first season of this show. And so that's what I'm saying, that this is literally like an investment in myself. And it could have not even gone well. But that's literally what I used to make the first season of the show. The second season we had sponsors, luckily. The third season we had sponsors. This last season I had to come back and sponsor again by myself. So that's what I'm saying, that it's a whatever. But it's not even like I have that money to use. Or I have that money sitting down. No. But that's basically why we have to shoot it the way we shoot it. But what makes that difficult is they're trying to get artists in a 4-block date. Damn near impossible. But sometimes you have to shoot 1 a day, and that pains my chest because it's such a waste of money.
So I'm learning now that I might have to start calming down and stop throwing tantrums. I feel like every Thursday, everybody's scared of me. Every Thursday since I started shooting this show.
I don't like when people make me shout, or like even when you make me like talk to you in a kind of way. Cause I just want to treat everybody with respect. I just want to be calm. But I'm just like, to me, when you come and you're doing rubbish, you're disrespecting my effort. Like I said, you know I traveled from Abuja. You know we went home at 4 a.m. yesterday. Fauzi's episode, they didn't put on his mic.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
We finished the episode though. Hey, if I tell you the things that have gone on this show, Thames' episode, they did not back up. I've not even said this anyway. The first one I've said it. They did not back up her close-up. The person that was doing the backup backed up my own close-up twice. Didn't back up her close-up.
There's no way you will not have cried.
And then because the cameras, we rent them, they had returned it and they had wiped the memory card. You said there's no way you not have cried. I'm not joking. I cried for 8 days straight. Because I'm like, first of all, I ran into Thames at Palmoy Fest and said, please, can you do my show? She said yes. First miracle. She said she's leaving the country in 2 days. Second miracle. Our location, I spoke to them, everything, We got there the morning of Osas. They said nobody told them we're filming in this location. And also they've not had light since Wednesday. We found another location. Third miracle. Then you now tell me that you do not back up her close-up. Okay.
Because how do you want to go back and go and tell her? Even if she wasn't leaving.
I now started tweeting. I said, please, who has data recovery software? Because, like, they were telling me, they're really sorry, when next she's in Nigeria. I do not even want to entertain the possibility that you guys are telling me that we're not going to release the episode. I don't want to entertain that. I don't want to hear it. So I started tweeting who has data recovery software. 2 people. And I'm actually going to send you their handle so you can shout them out this episode, because I want to shout them out always. Because it is literally a stranger that came and gave me his data recovery thing. And that person, that one I knew him, I asked him. And he gave me. And we started trying to use data, this thing. As that one was going on, because the problem is that they also didn't label the memory card, so they don't even know which memory card it is. Bottom line, let me just bring you out of your misery and say that we shall recover it. As you can see, the episode is out. But imagine that kind of emotion. And that's why I'm saying that what it takes to do this job, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know that, I don't wish to advise people to do it because...
You know what? I feel better now that I'm just, because every time something happens, I always feel like it's peculiar to me. Everything that has happened, whatever has gone wrong with this show, I always like it's peculiar to me. Every Thursday now, so Farouk, my editor, is a very calm person.
Yeah.
So even if you're shouting the roof down,
he will still be calm.
he will do what he wants to do, and he will do it quietly.
Yeah.
So sometimes I shout,
Yeah.
sometimes I scream,
Yeah.
sometimes I cry.
Yeah.
And then Farouk is just
calm.
And then
but that's a good balance.
People on my team, they're like, Osas, if you shout from now till tomorrow, nothing. I promise these people that I will drop an episode by 6. The first time it dropped like past 7. And I was like, crying, like, guys, please forgive me. I'm sorry.
No, but people don't understand. Because it's also about, like, reliability with the audience is important. Because even when, for example, now we're uploading one episode, NEPA took lights. The lights episode, I think we uploaded like 5 times. There's no insult, did not insult me on Twitter, no dragging.
What happened? Which episode that we did up? What was the episode? The one before Jenny Frank. We uploaded, we exported 3 times.
Meanwhile, if you leave Nigeria, I was coincidentally outside of Nigeria. One time we had to upload one episode. It took me 3 minutes. I've never uploaded episode in Nigeria for less than... There's times I've actually sat down for like 7 hours straight uploading episode. But nobody, that's part of this job that I just feel like nobody gets. People just look at you. You are rich, you're laughing with celebrity. Like, people just write an easy version of life for you. And that's the only part of this job I don't like. Because of course, you don't want to come and be shouting every day, I'm suffering and whatever. But like, people don't understand that it's not easy. And I feel like it doesn't allow them to fully respect what it takes. And that's why I'm always like, because anybody I see them, like, I find in this place doing great stuff, I'm like, I'm always going to big you up because I know that it's not just going smoothly. However it comes out, so it's not just going smoothly. Like, it's extremely, extremely, extremely hard. Like, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. But ultimately, I guess it's worth it.
Chinasa,
I guess it's worth it, guys.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well
so you're doing
done,
this for 3 years, 4 years. It's crazy.
If people don't tell you enough, well done.
Thanks, my darling.
Because the fact that I would have said everything. I would have cried everywhere.
I feel like the thing is that people watch Is This It Taking? So even when I see other things complain, because I did a whole thing, before I launched my last season, I wrote a whole thing. People interact most with Is This It Taking? Or maybe they'll see a clip. Like, people just watch the show. So the things I say, that's what I'm trying to say, that's another thing with Is This It Taking? Because like I said, because it's so consuming, I haven't been able to develop the personal brand at the same pace. So the traffic that something I say and Is This It Taking will get is not the same. Because I've said these things. I even had an episode with Selene where I said this, we sat down, we spoke about just this. But again, it's more Is This It Taking? So this year, that's another thing I really want to do, which is just like the personal brand. And I don't even want to be more intentional about it because I've always been, but I've just not had the time. But again, like I said, people are used to, people will post a podcast episode and they'll post Snapchat, they're out. Then they'll post this one, that one. Again, I don't live in Lagos. I also don't live that kind of life. Like, not even that there's anything wrong with it, but I literally live a very, very regular life. Which is why I never feel... It's when people say, oh, I watch you, or I come to Lagos, I'm like, I remember that like I'm a public figure. Because I live a very regular life in Abuja, in my father's house. So I feel like, because of social media now, even people that don't do content, just people just watch their life, people are used to that volume of content. So when you're not doing that much volume, people will pay attention to this taking if you're talking. Because I've said all these things, but people still don't know. Even every time I say in an interview, like, oh, I do stand up. Oh my God, I never knew that. I've said it.
Oh, you did a show in Nigeria.
I saw my page. I did 4 shows, babe.
I saw. I think
the show that I did in Nigeria, this venue too, I think we paid them, I want to say 2.5. I'm the one that swept that venue. I'm the one that arranged the chairs. Osas, I did this show, and why it cost us that much as well, because it ended up costing us about 4 million, is because I wanted to record it. So that people that could not be there will also be like, okay, wow, Chinasa actually does comedy, because everything is meant to feed into each other and be building. Osas, they said, oh, their memory card, something.
I don't understand.
I want you to understand again. I traveled from Abuja to Lagos. I performed a 1-hour comedy show that I've been rehearsing for months. I've crammed in my brain. I've said it. And you did not do the video. And the guy was still telling me, was still shouting at me and telling me that I should not talk to my guy because I'm a woman. I started telling everybody I was disrespecting him. And his staff were now saying, why will you be disrespecting him? These are people that know that I've come from Abuja. And I spent over 4 million naira. And today the video never came out. This man is the fact that I swept him up to. This man is the fact that the second day the light spoiled because we filmed the 2 days so that we have continuity. So in case one footage is not good, the light spoiled on the second day, they did not fix it. So there's no continuity of the footage. Then on the second day, you now decided that, okay, you won't record the last 30 minutes of the show. Then when I told you I need money back, you said that you knew it was all about money, that I'm disrespecting you. Anyways, this is not all that happened though. Those will put me through hell.
I'm sorry, I don't like what creatives go through in Nigeria. I'm sorry. I'm actually really sorry. And this is not, I'm previous episodes I'd spoken about, you know, we getting paid less. But I never thought of it from the perspective of we paying out. What do you mean you pay 2.5 million?
They lied to me about the capacity of their space. We've sold tickets. Now you make us look dishonest. And then this guy still had the guts to be telling people, and his staff was still calling me, that why am I disrespecting him? I'm like, do you know what it cost me to do this? Can you stand and talk to people for 20 minutes and they'll be laughing? And I'm like, the show was really good. The show did well. But then you don't allow us to actually, because we're not going to make back what we spent back in the show. So the least we can do is at least when people see it, okay, people know Chinasa does comedy. If I want to do more comedy shows, now you have delayed that journey for me. I'm here in 2024 December. Talking about something that we did in 2022 December. And I have to do it all over again. With new jokes, because I cannot now say the same joke that I've already said. That's it too. Oh! They said that we have to pay for rehearsal separately. Because part of the show was that the lights will go off at a certain time and come on at a certain time. Because basically I incorporated musical chairs into the show. So I wanted the light to go off. Like I segmented it. So once the segment is done, the light's supposed to go off. Let's do the rehearsal. The light person didn't come for the rehearsal. Okay. You didn't come for the rehearsal. That's fine. We're going to put somebody, like let's say Ruth is here. We'll put somebody in the booth with you. They'll tell you when to put off the light, put on the light. This guy was sleeping.
Hey. Hello.
So I'll be on stage. Light is supposed to go off. I'm standing on stage looking stupid.
Please look at my face, oh. Please look at my face. If I ever tell you to do anything, let me beg you. I'm just a girl. I don't. Do you know how demoralizing?
Anyways, I'll think about this.
Shake me.
Nah. And that's what I'm saying. All you do is cry. After you cry, I'll call my parents. That's what I'm saying that, honestly. That's why I'm saying that my parents, I feel like they've seen me go through so much. Especially my mother. My mother has been, like, traumatized through osmosis by me from this job. I'm like, My mom is always like, this is your industry. Behind the scenes stuff, front of the scene, getting guests tough, getting funding tough. You now get, even this last season that we did, I don't know. In some ways, yeah, I feel like you're well positioned.
Because I'm here?
Success. Yeah, I think so. But even minus that, I think that you're also like you have a good network as well.
Yeah. So I always try to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I've just realized that the worst you can tell me is no. Well, actually, that's actually the worst you can tell me.
No, it is.
Because if you tell me no, you've killed me. Yeah. You want to kill me, you want to take my life. I try as much as possible to get into people's heads. Because it's my show. I need it. And I need you. So please, if you don't come on, if you tell me that, Osas, say I'm your helper, I'll say you are my helper. Is that not what you want to hear?
And that's another thing for me as well. I'm like, I know that the show is good. And then that if you come on, I will do justice to you. But like again, with these guests, if they don't know you, and that's what I'm going to say, which is the thing of rebuilding the personal brand. Because some of them will even know the show, but they might not know my name. They might not know what the show is called because they've just seen it. To get them on, very difficult. And there are people that I'm like, you'll be so good. Just come and sit down. Just come and sit down. Just come and sit down. But yeah, getting guests is tough. But also, the audience feels like, they feel like I'm in an industry. They feel like, I can just message all these people. They're just my friends. I can just, like, I think I was saying, I tweeted, I was like, that I won't remember on ITASS is so bad. Someone like, I just messaged on Jazzy now. I'm like,
Just like that. Just like
and
that.
I get that the show gives like this bestie kind of vibe.
But it's good. It's good.
No,
that it
because
does that.
I'm trying to be your bestie for real.
I feel like the artists too will figure out at some point that maybe you know these people, so they should know you too.
But I think that, again, because I don't live in Lagos, and also just like as a woman as well, navigating all this relationship, how many times do you message someone, hey, just checking, it's difficult to sustain the relationships because most people, I don't run into them after the show. So like even people I want to maintain relationship with, they're also very busy people. In terms of if you're looking to text them, it might be 3 weeks before they answer you. So it's just like, I know you guys think I'm besties with all these people, but please, I can't just be messaging anyone like that. But like, the bestship is in the future, maybe it's in the front. But like, yeah. Another thing I was just telling Osas, another thing that makes it different from a podcast is, most podcasts in general, the conversation, however it happens, that's how you guys are hearing it. They will just release it. We actually, like, we craft our conversation. So how you are hearing it is not necessarily the order in which it happened. We cut a lot of stuff out. We move stuff sometimes just for like better flow of the conversation. Because my attention span is very, so if it's not maintaining my attention, I'm like, okay, I don't want it to feel like, I want the conversation to feel sharp from the beginning to the end. So that's something I do personally.
I do love it, and I'm more inspired now. I mean, I was inspired before I met her, and now that I've heard this story, I'm inspired and I'm scared.
Don't be scared. They're capable.
I'm afraid. And back to female comedians.
Yeah.
I know there are women that want to do this, right? And you feel like because there are no other women in the game, you don't think you'll be able to. And that's a very fair fear.
It is. But I think that the framing of it is, because there's not a lot of women, you have an opportunity to, from the jump, stand out. I feel like the core thing is, before you put yourself out there, work on getting to a place where you feel good. Not great, but just good. For example, now, the comedy show I did, I told my friends that they should bring their friends that I don't know and they don't know me. I gave everybody feedback sheets and I performed for them. And that's just really you taking yourself serious. Like, don't like, take yourself serious. Before you even make it public, privately, what are you doing to take yourself serious? If you want to do comedy, now comedy is an example, saying, go and watch comedians you like watch what they are doing. This person did this thing that I like. There's a way they brought the punchline back at the end that I like. So I feel like, even before you put yourself out there, there are things you can do. Because people want to say, oh, I don't have money, I don't have this. Genuinely, of course, money is very important, I'm not going to say, but you don't need those things to start. How are you developing yourself? Because the truth is that if you develop yourself to a place that is good, social media has helped to democratize the process a lot, and you put yourself out there, you can literally start growing a following.
And this applies to everything.
If you want to come and start doing makeup, if you want to come and start vlogging, if you want to be a graphic designer, if you want to be a painter, literally content has changed the game, because making content about your work and putting it out there, people love to see process. That's one thing that pains me so much, because it's like we haven't been able to in the beginning. We're not able to afford just people following us and seeing behind the scenes of what it takes. Like, just these things I'm telling you now, if a camera just follows us and we do a day of a shoot and people see like, oh, you're changing outfits, it's on the same day. The people are seeing when we're waking up, when we're going. People will appreciate it more. So like, document your process. I really think that now more than ever, like, it's actually the easiest time to start anything. You just have to take yourself serious. People say believe in yourself, but me, the kind of belief I believe in is in taking yourself serious. How are you honing the skill that you want to be known for? How are you honing it? Because, for example, is this taking now? It's the first thing I ever directed. It's the first kind of talk show this thing I ever did. But it doesn't come across like, oh, this is someone that's just learning on the job. But I am. But I put myself in other positions, like I said, even through stand-up comedy. because that's something that you're going on stage in front of people you don't know, and you have to be confident in that. That also helps with this. Comedy in general and being like, it helps with thinking quick on your feet, which is something I love to showcase on Is This It Taking, just like being quick. And these are things that even before I started doing stand-up, like I said, I was writing it and practicing it in my notes. I was with my friend in his library, rehearsing the jokes for him. So I just feel like anything you have, believe that it's possible and take it serious. Once you do those two things, you're good.
I mean, once you start taking yourself serious, there are people that will take you serious.
Exactly.
So there's that.
Exactly.
I didn't even banter because it was a learning. I learned here too. Usually I would have deviated, guys.
Please
Chinasa,
deviate.
I did not deviate. For the first time on this podcast, I did not go far. I didn't tell you a childhood story because of Chinasa. Not deviate. I'm going to intrude. Okay. I'm sorry. It has to happen. Chinasa. A core childhood memory that you have.
Okay, so I'm going to give you two. Because when you said I didn't give a story from my childhood, I don't know, for whatever reason, it took me back to when my brothers, when we were young, they would take the mattress from their room, put it outside, and start jumping up onto the mattress, unprovoked. Unprovoked, this is what they were doing for fun. They'll not be saying I should join them. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Female body and male body are built different. If this is what you guys want to do. But I think at some point, I think they actually peer pressured me. I think I actually did that. Unprovoked, this was like a fun game for them. But I would say another core childhood memory that will not traumatize us. I had already mentioned it. Like, and that's another thing I want to give my mom props for. I feel like she really nurtured every interest I had. Like, I told you I used to write poems and short stories and like submit to magazines. That's another thing I feel like we don't have now, like young people don't have. We used to have all these random
KKB show.
Yes, KKB show. We used to have magazines that like young people could write short stories and submit to. I liked reading a lot as a child. My mom had a bookshop, like I said, so that really encouraged that in us. And that childhood thing I liked. In primary school, there was this Miss Fontage. It was like the fashion parade of the school. And I was the only person in primary 4 that qualified. So in my mind, I was feeling like a baddie. So I did that contest. I mean, I didn't win, but I was just happy to like qualify and be able to do it. And at some point, because of that, I wanted to be Miss World at some point. My mom hired somebody that was doing catwalk lessons with me.
Your mom?
No, my mom is literally... She's
a stand-up woman.
She is amazing. I told my parents I want to start learning how to play the guitar. Another core childhood memory, anytime they would take lights, my siblings and I would start rapping. We'll start battle rapping with each other.
It's probably why you're the way you are now.
It is.
It's probably why you're the way you are.
It definitely is part of it.
Your mom, I love her involvement too. Got you somebody to teach you how to catwalk. If I said that in my house.
Oh yeah, the guitar thing, I was trying to finish that. My dad said guitar is not for women. That that is not ladylike. And what did my mom do? She bought me a guitar.
Mommy.
So my mom is amazing.
Mommy. My dad told me that driving was not for women.
That's crazy because driving is a life skill.
Like, it shouldn't have. It really shouldn't have. Because I just said I don't want to teach you how to drive. You said driving wasn't for women. I did not. The first time I put my hand on the steering wheel was in 2022. Until now, I've still not perfected it.
Sorry, let me say one last core childhood memory. I don't know if you used to read any Blyton books.
I loved.
And I genuinely believed that my toys would come alive in the night. So I would always fake sleep. And then I'll be like, you guys can come. You guys can. And I'll go under my bed. And I'm like, why you guys? Like, you guys, I just felt like they didn't feel like it was a safe space. Like,
come here.
Yes. I felt like they didn't feel like it was safe for them to come alive. And so I was always just like, guys, you can trust me. I deadass believed like they used to come alive because of any Blyton. So,
You know when I found out that Blyton was a woman, I lost my shit. Because
I knew she was a woman.
I never knew.
Yeah, I knew.
Oh, because I'm like, so why? They're like, that she has to disguise as a man to be able to publish.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long ago. I don't know. Feminism is not doing anything. Shh.
Femme la bouche.
No, to the part that you all would like, and the one that I personally like. Have you ever been heartbroken?
Have I been heartbroken? The funny thing is that if you asked me this last year, I would have said no. But between then and now, I have been.
Oh.
I have been. I was shocked.
That it happened to you?
No. I think that if you've not experienced a certain level of heartbreak, you feel like you know how you deal with basically heartbreak. But that made me realize like I've never dealt with heartbreak because I'll be driving and be crying. I'll be in the gym crying. I said that, no, because my parents have, I literally like, Chinasa, please, like a man, bring a man. So like the fact that I was crying in the house, my parents were so lost. They were so confused. As I'm saying that it was so bad that even, I was crying in their presence. That's why I'm saying that I was like, no, I couldn't believe it. I cried, not in front of actually I was going to do it in front of my dad. I cried in front of my dad. I cried in front of all of them.
Were your parents ever strict? Did they ever hit you?
Did they ever? My parents are very strict. My dad doesn't even talk too much, flogging. My sister will now use vaccine and massage my bum bum after. We had a routine, 3. It's 2 boys, 2 girls. Girl, boy, girl, boy.
You're the third.
I'm the third.
Oh.
Middle child.
It's me again, God. Why not me? Why not? We having 2 older siblings. Having one is great. Having 2 is...
My house, I don't know. I was gonna say my dad still like I was the one that he said that he wants to lay his expectations on. So, I mean, yeah, it started. I think I would say between me and my sister, but me, he really zeroed in there. So the boys in my house have always been chilling, even till now. Is Chinasa. I'm just like, oh my God, my dad. Yeah, so my house, it wasn't that kind of middle child that is just chill. No. Middle child, but still.
If you want me to go crazy, just tell me that. When I first dropped the first episode, I went to the club that night so that I could populate my Snapchat, so that people will be able to see the link. I've done crazy things for this show. What do you mean? I've just finished shouting at Farouk and I'm at the club next minute. And I have supportive friends.
Shout out to Farouk.
Because my friend, she put it on the wall that ITASS out now. ITASS is out. I'm like, guys.
Yeah. Even me. Again, it was just delusion. Because when I was making the show, I told my cousins, I said, you push just what this show is going to do well. But like even me, I said that, but like I don't even think I anticipated it doing as well as it did. Because what was the foundation of that? Like I said, after pandemic, I started making content on my page. It was those small people that were watching the content on my page that just helped. Because I didn't even know anybody. I didn't have anybody to say post link. The people that came on in the first season, obviously it wasn't a big show yet, so they were not even posting the link either. Even now for people to post link, there's always politics inside.
Collaborative.
Because it's affecting the steals of their page.
May I understand you, don't worry. Just come on the show. We'll sort that part later.
Yeah.
So do you like being in Nigeria? Do you think that if you could change anything? Okay, no. Do you think that you could ever go back to the UK?
I like being here. Obviously, living in Nigeria, we all know what it is. We all know it's stressful. We all know whatever. But like I said, I feel like the work I want to do is here. The stories that haven't been told are here. And the people, kind of like you're saying, I remember last time I traveled, I got on a call in Heathrow Airport and I was like, oh, people are looking at me because I sound different. Hate that. I'm the kind of person that will travel, start looking for pounded yam, jollof rice.
There's a video
I said, this last trip I did, I traveled with afang soup and I make no apologies. Okay, immigration, if you're watching, I didn't travel with afang soup.
Where did you hide it?
I froze it now. I froze it for like 1 week. And I put it in a bag and I wrapped the bag. Immigration, again, that was just a joke. You're not a comedian, in case immigration is watching.
Should I?
What else? I feel like my humor as well is very Nigerian. For example, when I was living in America, I was talking to one of my housemates and I said, I beg, I can't come and kill myself. Oh my God, Chinasa, are you okay? Yeah. You want to kill yourself?
I beg.
Like, oh my God, Chinasa, don't say that. I don't like to be explaining my jokes. I don't like to be, so me, I like being here.
Well, it's the same way you would tell them, are you mad? And they will assume that you're asking them if they are pissed off.
Right. Even the way we talk with our hands, that's interpreted as aggressive in some Western parts. So I'll be talking to someone, can you stop being so aggressive? Oh, I'm just like, please, let me go home, I beg. Let me go home. Because I'm using my hand. Like, I beg. So me, like, I just don't like code switching is very stressful for me. So I like being here, but like I said, the vision is still global for the show. And that's something I want to do from here. So that people can also see. Because I feel like with our music, That's why it's such a big thing, because this is homegrown. Like what Arasta is doing, Thames, like these people started from here. Like it's a different story of possibility. So yeah, I think like for me it's important to be here. But I will still be moving. I will still be, before they come and say, hey Chinasa, you say you'll be here, but I'm still in America. I'm doing this thing. The reason I'm spending this much money to do is this taking. It's because it's definitely a global brand I'm trying to build.
What do you mean I'm seeing Nigeria? You said you want to do it in Nigeria. Should she not? I don't think that should be.
My dear, do you know another thing I love about being a girl? See our nails, guys.
I just did my nails this morning. I said I had to come correct.
Because I don't also do nails very often, but I like, because people ask me about my nails a lot, and I'm like, I like looking at my hands and it's sparking joy.
Yes.
Like I just like, yes, this is cute.
And my hair, love braids. Braids is the reason I don't have front hair anymore.
I'm screaming.
My hair is starting from here.
I cut my hair in secondary school, so also for all the 6 years, my school to SS3, you had to cut your hair. So,
a private school.
It's Catholic now, so. They said don't distract. You're seducing the boys with hair. So, you know. I've as a woman, you know you're an object of seduction. Exactly. So basically, it's not just about you. Anyways, because I was about to go into a whole thing about how I auditioned for, I used to do liturgical dance in my secondary school. I entered liturgical dance when they used to audition people. Eventually, it became like more lax. Anyways, my SS2.
What's liturgical dance first?
So, you know, during Mass, okay, so basically for those that are Catholic, during Mass, like if there's like a special Mass, sometimes there's like dance involved.
Okay.
It's like cultural dance and that kind of thing. In my SS2, one Reverend Sister came and told me that that when I jump, as if I'm the one that invented jumping, that when I dance, I'm trying to seduce the men. And that's so I have to remove from liturgical dance. And I'm like, this is how you people give women complexes about their body. This is a whole other topic that, again, I'm going to discuss in my comedy and also just in my film. But what is like growing up with boobs in Nigeria?
Yes, please.
Because they called me a prostitute at 10 years old before I even knew what prostitution was. Because I wore vests to the market. And again, I'm 10. I'm not thinking like, oh, I have breasts. But yeah. That's another thing
that's something I'm always fighting against, because I'm like, I wear this dress and you guys shout at me. I look at your boobs everywhere, and then somebody
else that does not have. I had this conversation with a guest, and they said something about me, something provocative, and I said, you know the thing. I'm not even saying this to be funny or to be anything. I have never tried to be provocative. Like, if I want to be provocative, okay, if I'm going out or like whatever, but like I just have boobs, guys.
And it's just boobs.
I just have it. Or like, oh, okay, you want to show your breast. Hey, it's more so like that. It's like, guys, except I'm wearing jalabia 24/7. At some point, there's going to be cleavage. And I don't know if I'm dressing like a 50-year-old woman.
I can't even. I'm even sorry. I can't. It's not even in my
I don't know if that's what you want from me.
Well, because I used to wear very big clothes before, because I hated being like. It's not my fault. I love it, but the fact that I'm wearing it so you don't speak to me.
The thing about me is that I'll still wear it, but I'll feel the discomfort because of, like I said, just because of like a lot of experiences I've had from like my childhood. I'm like, bruh, do you guys realize that us two, we just woke up and had boobs? Like, I don't understand. If I build my body safe, this is not even how I build it. I love my body though. Like, this is not even about anything. But I'm just like, guys, people, when you have boobs, people think too much that you're always trying to show breast. And it's like, guys, I just have boobs. I just have it. Backless thing someone cannot wear. Anyways, let's move to the next topic.
That's not me.
No, I know. I did not see you backless when you met me.
Me too. It's not backless I was wearing. It's you people's business.
I'm just saying that. See, people try and make rules for you based on how they are perceiving you or what they are perceiving you're trying to do. And it's like, I'm just existing just like you. I'm just a girl. Next question.
Oh, I've never asked this one before. Celebrity crush.
I actually don't have a celebrity crush. Like, this is not a lie. I actually don't. I'm trying to think. Do I have a celebrity? Okay, are you talking about, because I'm thinking Nigerian.
No.
You're talking about overall.
Overall.
Who's my celebrity crush? Oh?
Oh, not men, no. Doesn't.
I know you're not limiting it. I'm trying to think, because I feel like I had, but then the crush has faded. Like, I know it's like, I feel like this person is not alive, so I don't know if to say it.
Hope it's not Michael Jackson.
No, it's Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, a cutie actually.
I just you know that's what I'm saying, that
cutie.
like even just I would say Chadwick. Yeah, I would also say do you remember this British actor Daniel Kaluuya?
Yes.
I think I just find being good at your job so incredibly sexy.
So John Boyega, right? When he came, I don't know what year it was I came to Nigeria, but I left my hostel and I went to go and watch the film. And I was on my seat. I don't know who I thought I was. Do you know how confident I had to be to sit down on that seat and say, he's going to notice me and he's going to fall in love with me? And I was a small girl.
No, but that's kind of delusion you need in life.
Well.
Daniel Kaluuya.
True.
Call me.
Call.
No, but I love, like, I just find being good at your job sexy. That's the bar with me. Be good at your job. Yeah.
And don't be light skinned. For me, sorry. Oh, you can be light skinned, oh. You can be light skinned, I'm sorry. Not trying to offend you, okay? Do you?
They'll be like,
be light
unsubscribing now.
Ah! I love light skinned people.
Retweet.
We love light skinned people. Light skin, dark skin.
I need you dark.
Red skin, yellow skin.
I need you
dark
chocolate.
Skin, dark skin.
I need you chocolate.
Black skin. We love all of you.
Love a chocolate, man.
Don't have pots, Benisha.
Definitely not to. And I'm very appreciative of how open you have been about your love of my work. Osas, stop this rubbish. Because honestly, it's a big part of why I do it. And keep going. Okay? Keep going. You're going somewhere. So just continue. Anything, chest it and keep it moving. I want to say, you guys, watch Is This Seat Taken? We have a new season coming out. Season 4, Act 2, 4 years. What am I saying? 4 seasons, 3 years. Insane work rate. Season 4, Act 2, go and watch. If you have not even watched it, what a Christmas, New Year gift we're giving you. Enjoy.
Actually,
Happy New Year.
Actually, Happy New Year.
Discover the show, subscribe, like, share, and watch out for everything I have coming. I'm gonna be doing a lot this year, so watch out. Osas will be involved in some should not be involved, but watch out.
And me. Of course, you know. I won't lie to you. I love hard work. Stated. Love the girls. Love all my girls. You know. And I'm super excited. I'm glad we had this episode. The forces were trying to come against.
The forces can never win against the girlies.
If you see what I went through, I said, no, God forbid. She must make it here. If not, I would just go to Abuja with Farouk. I just used my last card to go to Abuja. But I'm glad this happened.
Also, I love teddy bears, so...
Yeah, that's why I put it on your chair. Because you even look like a teddy bear.
Girl. I love teddy bears, so... If you're looking for what I love and you want to give me anything, I love teddy bears. Big one or small one, any size. It has really made this a safe space, so... Congrats.
Shank in it.
Happy New Year. Oh, Shank said it's not a safe space.
I mean, say they don't feel safe.
Me, I feel safe. I feel safe.
I'm going to send this particular clip to you guys. If you're going to watch my video, please watch the ads. Okay?
Retweet.
I saw the comment on you. I saw it was a comment on your phone.
Retweet.
I have to say it. And rate this a 5-star on whatever platform you're watching it. Spotify, on whatever platform you're listening
to it.
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Rate it a 5-star. So they'll keep recommending me. Okay?
Retweet.
I'll see you guys in my next video. Follow Chinasa on Instagram. Our personal brand was
Fertilizer 2025.
2025.
I'll put fertilizer on it.
I'm so happy. Bye guys. I'll see you in my next video.
I'll see you in my next video.
This is a safe space. If you're seeing this is a safe space.